Good morning, welcome back to Farmer's Wife Homestead. I'm Stacey if this is the first time we're meeting, and we have got a quick video today because I realised that I shared something in my Facebook group, and if you don't know, I do have a Facebook group that I'm starting to become more active in, and it's just my username, which is Farmer's Wife Homestead, and I shared it years ago. I think it was Courtney, can you put the screenshot up here? I think it was maybe back in 2021 on how to make your own homemade cream cheese with 2 ingredients, 3 if you include salt. So it's easy as. And 'tis the season. Last year I showed you how to make quick, no fail, sweetened condensed milk in under 5 minutes, and that video has been my most popular video. So we're going to share how to make cream cheese, because I don't know about you, but I use a lot of cream cheese and it is so simple and quick and easy. So let's do that today. So all we need is a couple of litres of milk. If you want to make a litre of milk worth, just do that. If you want to make more, you can make more. Just halve or double the recipe, whichever. I'm just turning it on high right now. I've just used standard milk, which is full fat milk. You can't use skim or low fat or anything like that, because you are wanting the fat of the milk, and that's what's going to create your curds, which then in turn creates your cheese. So in goes the milk. I've also got some lemons. And for the 2 litres of milk, we're going to need roughly about 4 tablespoons, but you could add a little more or a little less, but we'll go into that when we get into it further. So I'm just going to juice up some lemons and have that ready on hand while this comes up to a high simmer, almost a boil. I'm just going to use a wooden spoon. And once in a while, I'll just come in and make sure it's not scorching on the bottom. Right, let's get the lemons ready. Right, you're going to say to yourself, gosh, who knew it was so easy? Now, of course, you can buy cream cheese, and it will be interesting to see how much 2 litres yields as far as grams is concerned, and we will measure that at the end, because that will determine on how much cheaper or not as cheap as it could be. But of course, if you find a really good special on some, short dated milk, then it will be a saver. So I think about 225 grams in the supermarket, and again, Courtney, can you put it up here, is around $5, and that's just for the cheap brand. If you're going for Philadelphia, that will be even more expensive. So yeah, I have made this several times, but I haven't made it for quite a while, and honestly you can't tell the difference. There's also a few different methods, but I'm just going to show you the method that I use, and we will do a separate video on ways to use up your cream cheese. And I've got some favourites that I will show you for my uses of cream cheese. A couple of them is a recent video that I made, you could use it in, is Kim's cheesecake. So you could try it with that, or you could try it in sandwiches. I'll leave that video here as well. Alright. These are going into the pig bucket. So I've got myself a big stainless steel bowl and a sieve, and I buy big bags of cheesecloth at my local hardware store. I think I got that one from Bunnings, and now I'm just going to give it a quick rinse, just a piece of it. And then I'm going to, it's doubled over, I'm just going to line the sieve with the cheesecloth. So now that's all ready. If you don't have a cheesecloth like I do, and you can't get a hold of it, I suggest that you could use a very clean tea towel, and just not one of those fluffy kinds of tea towels. I'll just show you the difference. So don't use a fluffy textured tea towel, use more of just a plain cotton tea towel. This was really cold milk, so it's taking a little while. You don't have to be precise about how hot it's going to get. You just want it to come to the boil, and then you're going to whack it down to low. But as I said, just give it a stir once in a while, make sure it's not scorching. And I'm just going to grab my tablespoon. Here's my lemon juice, and we're going to add it 1 tablespoon at a time, with about a minute in between each adding of the lemon juice. You can also use just plain white vinegar as well as an acid, and I've seen some people use yogurt instead, but it needs a lot more yogurt than lemon juice. And I can't comment on vinegar or yogurt because I just use the lemon juice method. So you know me, I'm all for saving some money if you can. I am going to be interested to see just how much cream cheese we get from this. I'm hoping I'm going to get about 400 grams. I'll also get Courtney. If you didn't know, Courtney is my daughter, one of my daughters, and she edits my videos for me. And I'll get her to pop up here how much milk costs. So just the cheapest brand of milk that you can get, full fat milk. Please and thank you, Courtney. I'm so grateful for her because she can put all the fancy stuff up on here. That's just too hard for me. I'm quite happy in the kitchen. Not as happy on the technology side of things, although I am learning. I'm trying really hard to get more consistent with Facebook and things, and honestly, I'll tell ya. Right, that is not far coming to a boil. I got stuck onto some computer work and almost let it spoil. So I keep a close eye on it. But as I said, just bring it just to the boil and then whip it down to low. Okay, it's just come to the boil. So I'm going to turn it right down to low. And we are going to add a tablespoon at a time. Now I can't say if bottled lemon juice will work the same. I've only got just plain lemon juice from our trees. So yeah, I'm sure it should be able to work. It's still an acid after all. So that first tablespoon has gone in. We're just going to give it a stir for a little bit. Going to add one more, and what you're looking for is the curds to start separating from the whey, which I can just see it's just starting to now, and I will show you so you can see little lumps coming away. And then what will happen is the liquid or the whey is sort of like a yellowy green slash clearish kind of a situation, just like if you're making butter. Oh, now can you see it's clumping up even more? just want to keep going. Make sure you get everything down from the sides. You see that's starting to form now. That's what you're wanting. It needs the 4th tablespoon. And if you're finding that it's not starting to separate, now can you see how quickly that changed with that last tablespoon? So if you're finding that that's not happening for you after you've given it, 30 seconds to a minute between each time, then just add another tablespoon of your acid, whether it's the lemon juice or the vinegar. So that's perfect. Can you see the difference? You've got your curds there, and see that beautiful whey. Don't get rid of the whey. You can cool it down, use it for brines, to tenderize meat. There's a multitude of things that you can use your whey for. Right, it's ready for straining. Now, just wanting to make sure that I get every last curd out of that pot. Okay, you don't want your curds sitting in the way. So I'm just going to transfer the whey back into, I'm going to press it a little bit. I'm going to transfer it back into the pot. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to like press it very firmly or anything like that, or cool it down before the next step. So I'm going to show you the next step. So it's still really hot, and it's just, I don't know, it's sort of spongy and squeaky. So the next step to make it a nice creamy mixture is to blend it. I usually use my Thermomix. I can't be bothered turning it on right now, so I'm going to try my stand mixer. I've not tried it in the stand mixer before, but I'm going to use my K-beater and just see if that will get it creamy enough. If not, I'll just start my Thermomix. If you don't have a Thermomix, you can use your food processor. I've seen people using a stick blender. You could use just hand beater. I don't know that a really good whisk, you could do it if you want to use the elbow grease. I'm sure it would work out, but you want to do it while it's still hot. That just helps it. Now, save some of your whey, because to make it a bit of a thinner cream cheese, you would just add a little bit of whey, or alternatively, you could add a little bit of cream into the mix just to make it the consistency that you want, but it will firm up on for refrigeration as well. So let's start mixing this in the stand mixer, and let's see if it works well. Okay, so I've got my cream cheese. Plonking it all into there. I might actually weigh it. I might actually weigh it now while it's in its curd stage, rather than trying to scrape everything off the bowl. So I'm just going to get my scales. Okay, so that's 411 grams. Yeah, 411 grams. So it's more than the 225 grams that you get in the packets. That's the sort that I buy. I don't buy the Philadelphia brand simply because it's way more expensive. And it's really no different at all. But just having a look at this, what are the ingredients? Okay, we've got pasteurized milk, which is the same as what you get from the supermarket, and cream, salt, starter cultures, and it's got in brackets milk, stabilizers, gum. No way! Oh my gosh, I'm shocked. Gum in brackets for the stabilizers says locust bean gum. I'm going to have to Google what locust bean gum is, but I don't like the sound of that. Okay. I'm pretty sure this milk cost me $4.29. I was at the fruit and veggie shop when I bought it. I know if you buy 2 at a time, it's cheaper. If this is what I think it is, I'm not buying this stuff anymore. Not when I know how easy it is to make it. I've just been lazy and haven't been doing it myself. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we already know it's cheaper to make your own. Right. I'm just going to add just a pinch of sea salt. You can use just any salt. And I'm just going to beat this. Okay, it's not going to work in the stand mixer. It's just basically pushing the curds around, so it must need the blade. Right, I'm just going to blend this until it's nice and smooth, and I will add some cream if it needs it. Well, that was about 10 seconds and I could already see that it has changed the consistency, so I'm just going to scrape down the sides so it's quite creamy down the bottom there now. But in order to get it all, I need to scrape down the sides, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of cream. I don't know, about a teaspoon. Okay, I've just done that a couple of times, and now I'm going to take it out. Because the Thermomix is quite a big bowl, it definitely liquidize is not the right word. It definitely mixed it really well, but now I want to kind of whip it more, so I've put it into my stand mixer and it's whipping it up really nicely. So you don't have to whip it for ages, it's just until it's the consistency that you like. So I literally whipped that for maybe 20 seconds, and yeah, it's just like cream cheese texture, and that is beautiful. I don't know how I feel about trying warm cream cheese, but we'll give it a go. That's really tasty. That's nice. So I would imagine once it cools down, it's going to be a really nice, you know, form into a nice block. And you can put it into some greaseproof paper if you want, or you could use little silicone container thingies. I'll show you what I mean. So if you have got these little containers, I'll link them. I just get them on Amazon, or you can get them from Kmart. I haven't seen them in Kmart for a long time, but yeah, so I'll link those in the description. I'm going to press mine into a block into this shape here. Alright, I also added 1 tablespoon of the whey into there as well. How smooth that is. So I'm just going to pop it all into the one block here. Okay, so I've got one good sized block there, and I'd say it's definitely way more than the block that I showed you. I've got a little bit left over on the side here. I've sort of been mucked around with it a little bit, so I've probably wasted a little bit as well, unfortunately, but I can't get every little last bit off everything. So now I'm just going to refrigerate this. Perfect. Okay, my curiosity has got me, so I'm going to Google what that stabilizer is. Could you please tell me what the stabilizer gar gum locust bean gum is made of? Can you see the relief on my face? The stabilizer locust bean gum, also known as LBG or E410, is a natural plant-based food additive made from the endosperm of the seeds of the carob tree. It bears no relation to locust insects. So there you go. I'm pleased that's been debunked. I mean, I'm going to trust that AI has got it right, but if you have any other information, let me know. But regardless, it is a number, and it is an E number. I don't know, I don't remember if E numbers are bad for you or whatever. But regardless, it's got a lot more in it than just the 3 ingredients, which is the lemon juice, just the normal milk, and a bit of salt. So yeah, I ended up adding quite a few more pinches of salt because I just felt like it needed a little bit of extra flavour. So yeah, just play around with it yourself. Of course, if you're on a low sodium diet, you don't have to have it. Yeah, so thank you for joining me for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed seeing how easy it is to make your own cream cheese, and playing around with a different method and realizing that it really does need those blades just to get it on its way to being whipped. I think a hand beater would work fine because it is also that steel blade that's thinner, so I think that will work. It just didn't work in the initial go using the stand mixer, but it was perfect for getting it to a better consistency because, you know, like I said, if I'd made a double batch or triple batch, the Thermomix would have worked a lot better. Right, it's super hot in here. I need to open up the windows again. Thank you for joining me, and look out for a new video with ways to use up your cream cheese, and also I'll be using cream cheese in quite a few different recipes coming up. Alright, thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye for now.